I live here in Cape May, back before all the beach replenishment and everything, we had killer jetties and awesome
Yeah.
blue fishing, and it was a great place to grow up back in the day.
I figured you fished, man. I mean, you can't be in the line of the industry that you're in without, at least having some kind of love for it, dude.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like the nickname Offshore Eddy came from one of the captains on party boat I worked on years ago. Yeah.
Tell me about it, dude. How'd you get that nickname?
I worked for John Royals on the Royal Flush. We sailed out of Wildwood Crest.
Dead men tell no tales.
And I was doing that back in the day when we did the 8 hour night blue fishing trips. When we had the
Okay.
big monster blues, so yeah, they started calling me Offshore Eddy, basically because I think I was the only one that didn't live on the island.
Okay. I know the feeling, dude. Trust me, man. I know the drive, dude. I mean, I grew up in a little town called Collins Lakes, right on the other side of Buena, and in New Jersey. And I would drive that half an hour, 45-minute ride, dude, and just spend all day down the shore because, I mean, you can't afford to go home and come back. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I get it.
So I know the feeling, dude. So did you start out fishing on the charter boats, or how did you get into fishing?
Yeah. um, no, I just, did my own fishing as a kid here and there, fished the bay, fish Higsby's Beach, fished the ferry and all that. A buddy of mine, we went out on an 8 hour blue fishing trip and, got drunk, and I thought it was the greatest freaking thing ever. So the next week I was down, hounding some of the docks there, lying my ass off about the experience I had. Got the job, and, fake it till you make it.
Yeah, and that probably was, it probably was a good thing, dude. To be honest with you, because I mean, how else do you get the experience, better than hands on, man? I mean, it's, you got to get out there to kind of get the knowledge and get the drive behind you, really.
Right, right. I had enough knowledge that, like I could fake it for the most part. I can tie my hooks, I can cut my
Yeah,
bait, I can clean fish. Granted, not on a massive scale at that point, but
yeah,
worked it.
with due time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure. So, what was the first boat? You remember the first boat you started on?
The first party boat I worked on was called the Happy Days. Maybe it was the Happy Days 2. That
Okay.
was out of Wildwood Crest, over by the 2 Mile Bridge.
Wow, man, that's before my time, dude. I remember a couple names, dude, but they're so far in between now, man. A lot of the old timers have either sold their license or sold their boat or got out of the business completely, and boats that I was on as a kid are just not even there anymore, man.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the last guy I worked for, Royal Flush, there, he sold the boat and all that stuff, and he retired. Um, I actually went back to work for him a few years ago when I first started doing the Offshore Eddy, to make the extra money to put out, $200 a sheet for the
For
starboard stuff.
sure. Yeah.
Not knowing if you're even going to sell it.
Right.
It's
Right.
kind of nerve wracking.
Oh, I'm sure, man. I mean, any new business really is. It's just, even for me, when I got into this, it was, I'm still to this day, I'm still working 40, 50 hours a week, and a good portion of what I'm bringing in, if it's not going to bills or family, goes right back into what I'm doing. So
Yeah.
I know the feeling, man. How did you get into the like out of the norm market pieces that you make now? Like, again, the complete custom pieces that you make. I mean, they're amazing. And really, I mean, when I found you on Facebook years back, I could not friggin' wait to get my hands on like an in the truck bed rack that holds the rods, the tackle. I mean, all that. How did you get into even starting doing that, bud?
There you
Yep, there
go.
it is. There she is.
Well, I've had my own laminate countertop shop for close to 24 years now.
Okay,
And the laminate industry was just dying. It got to the point I got to figure out something to make some extra money or give up the shop. And really
sure.
don't want to give up the shop.
Yeah,
I've been doing it for a long time. I'm pretty settled in with it. Um, so it got to a point where I made myself a fishing rod carrier that doubles as a wall rack. And, I could put my net on it, I could put my cleats on it, put my coffee cup in it. And people started seeing that while I was out fishing and telling me, you should put a patent on that, get a patent, and you only hear that so many times before you think maybe you got something.
Right. Sure.
So I started taking that around to the local marinas and bait and tackle shops, things like that. Saw a little bit of interest on it. Most of the what I hear was it's nice and all. We don't have the space to store it. We don't have the space to show it. So I got a few people to put it on consignment. And back then I was only making everything out of PVC board.
Okay.
It wasn't even the good stuff yet.
Right.
But I had one bait and tackle shop turn me on to they wanted minnow boxes. I don't know if you've seen the cedar minnow boxes I make.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
So I presented them with that, and they liked them and bought a buttload of them. So I said, all right, well, if here's one that's willing to buy it. I made up smaller versions that I could carry around with me and walk into the stores with. And by the end of the first summer, I had, those things in like a dozen tackle shops, and people
Wow.
came to the shop to buy them. And in the meantime, I'm still making different stuff with the PVC board. I started the Offshore Eddy page, started putting pictures up because honestly, you can't tell if it's the good stuff or the cheap stuff in pictures.
Right.
And basically just started a lot of rumors around town.
Yeah. Well, that's always a good thing sometimes, as long as they're
Yeah,
good rumors. But
yeah,
Ed, I'm telling you, man, you personally, I could tell right from the rip that your products were made with love, care, and detail, dude, and quality, materials. Because, you know, growing up in New Jersey, not being able to afford all the top end things, like, nothing against people that love Van Stahl reels and all the high end products, but I could
right.
never afford that stuff, dude. So, when you're talking about going out beach fishing, your gear's getting beat up, because it's Walmart stuff or it's Dick's Sporting
Yep.
Goods stuff. And I was forced to take cutting boards from Sam's Club. I remember this like it was yesterday, and create my own bait boxes or create my own cutting boards. And putting that stuff on the back of the Jeep on the trailer rack. And just from doing that, I could see the difference from what I was doing to the whole next tier on what you were putting out, dude. And I was freaking amazed that it really was, man.
Well, I mean, my whole life, I just love to tinker with shit. I can't buy something and not modify it.
Right.
That's just the way I am. I'll buy shit just to rip it apart for parts for something else.
Yeah. No, that's a good way to be, dude. Especially nowadays, man. I think that's a lost breed, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And Eddie, the word I was looking for before was aftermarket. Like it seems like, a lot of these boats. I had, just for instance, I had a 1987 204 overnighter. It was Grady White, right? And the guy had built this starboard kind of cuddy that you were able to put two trays in, tackle trays, and it had a really nice cedar door. Well, one winter I'm off tog fishing off in front of Atlantic City, and my buddy, he gets a little tipsy. He falls into this thing and shears off the corner. Eddie, when I tell you I had to resource throughout, 20 or 30 friends of mine to find a carpenter that was willing and, and able enough to mess with starboard and to produce the exact same cutout. I mean, it was next to impossible to find, dude. So, that's kind of where I got the first look on what you were doing, dude. And I was like, wow, man, this man's doing something, dude, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like with the hatches and stuff like that, even if they're broken, I have people send them to me. I'll trace it out on a piece of plywood. I'll mock up a new template for it, and then the starboard all gets routed to that. So basically, everything I do, I have to make two or three times before I even get to make the product.
Right.
The
Sure.
templates don't always work out, it's a lot of hand sanding and everything else, it'll be nice when I get a CNC machine, but I don't want to take away from the craftsmanship aspect of it. People seem to like the fact that I do this by hand and
Oh,
not
for
the
sure.
machine.
Yeah. And
I,
not the CNC
it's
machine, right? They
that
actually.
when you're cutting things like this out, it takes a little bit of time and a lot of
Oh yeah.
temps.
Oh yeah. So guys, if you're listening to this and you weren't able to see what he just put up, it was, I mean, again, something that was amazing. It was a starboard, completely out of starboard, right, Ed?
Yes.
Completely out of start. Go ahead and explain this to the listeners what
Yeah,
that is.
this is part of a just a like an overhead rod rack, flip them over
Yep.
like that. And the rods would go in the bungee cord and lock down.
Oh yeah,
But to
guys.
get
I mean,
but to get that curl in there and cut in there, and then the rod tip doesn't bounce around with the boat and everything, and it comes out real easy.
sure.
Um, every boat, anybody out there, you can find them online and stuff. Everybody makes them. It's just another one of those things to offer for the website.
For sure, for sure. And that kind of leads me into the next question. What is the most off-putting or the most craziest request that you have gotten since you've started, the Offshore Eddy? Is there one that sticks out in your mind?
Um, well, I
Anybody
had
asking to put a strip club on the boat or anything like that?
nah, not quite that far. I had one guy. He had me make him. I guess you'd call it like an entertainment center for his bathtub.
Okay.
Sit over the tub and lock. We made the back with an adjustable back, so he could put his tablet on there. He had a cutout for his drink. He had a tray for his tablet, another tray for his pens. And same guy, and for the same bathroom, had me make him a fold-out cell phone holder for next to his toilet.
Ed, we might be talking in the near future here, buddy, because that's some ingenuity right there, dude. That is
Uh,
definitely not what I was expecting to come out of you right now, but that's really cool, dude. To be honest with you.
yeah, yeah. It's probably some of the little more not so common things I've been asked to make.
For sure, for sure. So
But
Ed, what does Offshore Eddy have planned for the company in the future, buddy? I mean, what's this fall and what's this winter looking like for you?
right now, unfortunately, I'm in the back to looking for another shop.
Okay.
It seems like every time I find a place to rent and get myself set up and established, the building sells.
Hmm.
And then the new owners want the space.
Oh goodness.
So that's I was up against that 2 years ago, and I'm up against it again now. Only right now there's not much out there, so I gotta play nice and buy as much time as I can until something opens up, hopefully.
Oh yeah, Ed, you ever consider moving to Florida?
Nah,
No, no, that's a
nah.
good that's a good answer, dude.
I was born here in Cape May. I
Yep.
was raised here. All my friends are here. My whole life's here. My kids were born here. I raised two
Yep.
kids here.
No, I can't blame you, buddy. I moved about 6 years ago now, dude, and I'm dying to get back into South Jersey, man. I mean, I have a lot of fishing buddies that think I'm freaking crazy for that, dude. But again, my entire life was there. 30 some years were there, and I know the back bays and the ocean like my hand, the back of my hand there. So it's like, almost like a comfort thing that you're leaving, But
Oh yeah.
I was gonna tell you, I mean, next to the place I'm working now, we actually have I want to say probably a 2,000 square foot rental property that's just wide open, dude. And I mean, it'd be perfect for something like that. But I can't blame you, dude. I really can't.
Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty well established up here. I've been a lifelong local. I've kept a good name, and
Oh yeah,
it helps. It really does.
for sure. So Ed, tell the listeners and even the viewers, tell them a little bit about what you design and make. Is there kind of a carbon cutout of what you offer on the site and that's it, or just tell them a little bit about the business.
No, as far as the website, I basically have a lot of standard items that, as other guys might have, the rod holders, cutting boards, like, I do a cutting board that locks onto the bucket there.
Oh yeah.
Um, that goes, things like that do pretty well on the website. There's minnow boxes. I probably sell more of them than anything on the website.
Really, really.
Yeah, it blows my mind. I mean, I've got them all over the country at this point.
Oh wow.
Now, the truck back rod rack was something that I did come up with on my
Okay.
own. It locks into the back wall of the truck, and then it's got these leveling legs that you can slide in and out because a lot of trucks, they vary.
Sure.
When I first came up with the idea and the design, I was doing them specific to each individual truck.
Right.
That really got to be a headache.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
It's
sure.
like,
Yeah.
it's like there's got to be something where it's going to be most size. There's something fits most sizes.
Yeah.
And then that's what I came up with was like the leveler legs for like a range. At first, I was using black PVC pipe and drilling the holes and everything else, putting a little cap on the top, notching all that out. But then I moved into, buying these. They're UV resistant. Um, this one's been on the back of my truck for about 4 years now. I
Wow, man.
just pulled it off the back of my truck. Every now and then I jump on it. I stand on it to show people how strong it is. And
Right.
really, it's just this part that's holding it
Goodness,
in the
guys.
truck.
If you guys are wondering what this looks like, I mean, it literally looks like something you can set and forget, guys. It looks like something that's been, tried and true and tested and put through its paces to figure out what's the most efficient way to make these things to last, dude. That's what I'm seeing, Ed.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, put some work in it. I threw these extra holes in the side of it. Like in my truck, I just run a cable through it and lock it off to
So
the
nobody
side.
can snatch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the benefit about it being the plastic like that is nobody's going to steal it for scrap.
Smart man. Smart man. Yes. I mean,
Scrap there's
stainless
going off
prices were up there
repairs.
like gold. Yeah, I mean, that'll just kind of deflect them to your catalytic converter. But hey, listen,
Yeah,
at least you still got your rod holder.
right.
No, that's awesome, Eddie. I mean, so is there besides the rod holders, besides the bed rack, I noticed something that was on the site that I thought for your average pure fisherman, for your average charter boat guy that wants to set himself aside from everybody else. There's like a rail holder that you offer that has either a cup holder or a little bait well in it, and then it holds one rod through the hole.
Okay, those I made specifically for a customer, Captain Andrew down on the Sailor's Delight. They're a pontoon boat that does back bay fishing out of Wildwood.
Okay.
Um, he was, the son of a couple of our regular customers back when I worked on the party boat.
Hmm.
So he was around up here doing this as I was starting the Offshore Eddy. We touched base again, and he had completely had me. He got a second boat this year, which I completely outfitted for him. Little different rod holders, cup holders, things like that. The
Yeah.
first were for his original boat.
So is that something that you offer to the masses if they wanted it, or is it something that's kind of just for him in the boat?
Nah, that was just pretty much for him and his boat there. A lot of
Okay.
what I do is custom. People will see some of the stuff I do on the website. And if you go into my custom work, there's a question, what would you want modified?
Right.
I can modify anything you see on the site. I made it.
Okay. But listen, Ed, I will tell you this, man. When I saw that, right, my mind went to the Sebastian Inlet, right, where guys are lined up on the rail, or even the north side of the inlets, where they give a rail and there's guys that put bungee cords around their rods, or they some guys that are real fancy make clips for a rag and they'll clip it to the rail and wrap it around the rod. And I seen that and I was like, dude, you just set yourself apart from everybody on the friggin' pier or on the charter boat. Again, when you're stuck with your regular PVC rod holder that the charter boat provides for you, bolt that thing right to the rail as long as it's okay with the captain. Down at the pier, you didn't have to worry. And I mean, it sets you completely apart, dude. I mean, comfort is everything right there.
Oh yeah. And a lot of my stuff I like to make like removable.
Right.
Like I could make I do things like a cup holder. You just slap that down on the backsplash of your cutting board, give you an
Right.
extra cup holder, you know.
Yeah.
As long as I have the measurements of the rail, we can make it.
We're gonna talk then, buddy, because I got an idea for the rail down here in Sebastian, man. I think guys are gonna eat that up, dude. To be honest with you.
Go for it.
Awesome, Eddie. Awesome, buddy. Listen, something else I saw that I have to talk about was I think it was either something you just did or it might have just been an old post that I just saw. But on my boat, I have the biggest problem with keeping an iced coffee or your hot coffee or an adult beverage from flying out of the friggin' boat, dude. And you just made the perfect little cutaway cutty that holds a friggin' tumbler in somebody's boat, one of your customers' boats. Tell the listeners about that.
Yeah, well, that was another custom project. He wanted it specifically to fit one of them giant ass Yeti tumblers.
Oh yeah,
Okay, well, this thing had to be big enough for him to get his hands in there, to get it up and out. And you saw in the pictures, it was pretty good size. Um, the build on that was fine. It was easy, no problems, no hiccups. But when I went to install it, I cut my test hole, figured out where the gunnel came through, how high can I make the top, then I measured out how high can I make the bottom. Well, I get down into the bottom and there's a pipe that's fiberglass to the inside wall for wires to run through.
oh my goodness.
And it was probably a good, I had to cut about an inch off the top of the pipe inside the 6-inch wall. Yeah, it was an experience. But we got it and it looked good and
He
he's
was
happy
happy
with
with it.
it.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's what matters, dude. I mean, and again, you know what? You're not outsourcing your installs either, Ed. So, guys listening to this, man, you have a designer of a custom piece, and then you also have the installer of that custom piece working on your boat, installing it, dude. I mean, Eddie, you can't ask for much more, man. I mean, one-stop shop. I mean, Eddie Offshore, dude.
Well, if something hiccups, I want to be there to see it, to figure out how to make it work.
Sure, sure, and that speaks volumes, dude. I mean, because nowadays you're ordering, like, again, the cup holder I just ordered. I got it off eBay, super cheap. Got it on the boat. I have nobody to call to say, hey, it's not fitting shit. This thing is not working out, and it's faded and cracked already. So, Eddie, I mean, I don't see that being a problem with you, dude.
No, I try and stand behind my work.
Yeah.
I have one job. I don't know if I did it last summer or the summer before, but one guy took the windshield off his front because he had an enclosure put on.
Hmm.
So I made a short piece to wrap around the front and put a cup holder across the top of it. Um, for whatever reason, I'm thinking maybe I didn't pre-drill deep enough when I set the top pieces
Okay.
because it split
Oh,
from top to bottom right on the one side of the curve. So, I mean, I was the first one to notice it. I got a hold of the guy and said, "Hey, yo, I don't know if you saw this yet, but something's going on here." It's like, I want to get it fixed.
right,
Like, I don't want,
right.
I don't want people looking at that going, who the hell made that?" And then hearing my name.
Yeah.
So that'll be one of my projects this week is getting that one taken care of.
And you probably noticed it before he does, dude. And again, that's what sets you apart. And it's not five, guys that are part of the company, dude. And you're getting a, customer service call to a guy that's over in another country answering your phone call. So, I mean, come
Right.
on, man. If I had the money and if we were close enough, Ed, I'd have you outrig this entire boat. And to be honest with you, we might be talking because I have a polling platform that I'm trying to rig on this boat, and I have some ideas and some dreams of just some custom pieces in this. I have a 16-foot action craft flats boat, and there's places to where you could modernize and customize this to be really comfortable, but I just haven't found the guy to do it, and I don't think I have to look any further, Ed, to be honest with you, buddy.
Fill it on up.
Awesome, bud. Awesome. Ed, it's been a pleasure, dude, talking to you and, talking about the products that you offer in your company. Do you have anything else that you want to shout out to the listeners and the viewers of either where you're going to be in the future or how they can reach you on here?
Well, we have the website is www.offshoreeddy.com. Um, my phone number is up there, 609-972-5175. Um, and honestly, I would not have been able to get this kind of recognition and be able to continue this kind of work if it wasn't for my awesome customers. You
That
got like,
says a lot, Eddie.
you know, just tons of great guys. Gino Linder from the Side Chick, Leroy from the Digger, just tons of guys.
No, that's awesome, buddy, and commemorable, dude. Really, I mean, the group of guys that I'm trying to build around me now has the same thing in mind, dude. Looking out for each other, man. Trying to push each other to the furthest they each can get, dude. And if they need help, they call, and we're there, dude. So, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I'm glad to have you on the team now, Ed, for sure, buddy.
Yeah, man. Good talking to you too.
Thanks, buddy. You're welcome back anytime, Ed.
All right, Aaron.
See you, bud.